Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear friends. I am Toastmaster Sai Sri Shastri, Sergeant at Arm of today's wonderful and humorous meeting. I would like to take an honor to welcome you all in 657th meeting of Speech Weavers. And this is only the first honor for us that we all are meeting with very good note. Let me begin to start the club mission. What's the club mission? That is, this is the Toastmaster Club to provide a supportive and positive learning experience and leadership skill resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Every Toastmaster meeting has some certain ground rules which have to be followed by everyone. Please take a moment, listen and follow. It is going to help you to enjoy our meeting and experience all the talk and learn abundantly. Please choose a quiet place to sit for the meeting. Please use earphone for the better meeting experience. Please keep your audio and video on mute unless it's not your turn. You can keep your video on, but please refrain from making any unnecessary movement. It may distract the speaker. If you're going to talk about sex, religion, and politics, kindly, so in a manner, it does not hurt anybody's feeling. All speakers are requested to pin the timer screen. If you want to talk during the meeting, use the hand raise option in the participation section. Most importantly, keep the applause coming in the form of virtual claps. Can I see on my screen that claps are coming? Yes. One more thing which I missed it out, but last but not the least, please rename yourself as per your naming convention. If you are a Sa, I joined from another device, I'm not able to rename. But yes, you have done. Thank you, Adarsh. Rename yourself so that it will be easy for Zoom Master to identify. And one more very sincere request. If you want to give feedback during or you want to write any messages in the chat box, if any speaker is speaking, kindly give personal message, not in the group. Otherwise, it will distract the speaker. Yes, it's a time to start the meeting. I'm just a small flower. But the flower is incomplete without the presiding officer, right? Let me take an honor to introduce today's presiding officer and the event chair, Toastmaster Jeswa. I sometimes miss your name. Sorry, sir. That is a Joseph Felix Benedict. Right. What to say about him? Very great personality, very polite, and he has served two nations in India as irrigation project design engineer and the Saudi Arabia government projects such as desalination project, power generation project, transmissions and distribution of electricity project, water transition project, and over a period of 30 years. It's a quite long. Maybe I was in school that time when he started his journey. And The audience were, when he was presenting, he was inaugural that distillation plant. The audience were King of Saudi Arabia and Bahrain King during that event. He was consulting engineer for about government projects under the companies of Fisher and ILF Consulting Engineers. Both are German company. And he has a special interest in music and singing. And for me, as a Toastmaster, is a good mentor for all. Let me invite and please welcome our presiding officer, Toastmasters Joseph, with a round of applause, and you can unmute yourself to invite him. Over to you, Toastmaster Joseph, our presiding officer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmasters Shai Sri, for this amazing introduction. Your background of colors reminded me of last week's podium. You were actually expected to be as a joke master, but because of the small incident, we missed you. I hope you are doing well. Good evening, my dear Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and honorable guests, and my beloved Toastmasters. We are in the spring season, but still, the temperature in Bangalore is 34, and night temperature is also horrible. This is all because of the climatic changes. We can expect a more horrible thing very near. The summer is going to come earlier than what it has to be scheduled. However, we have to put it on because it's only Bangalore. If it is like that, we can imagine the rest of the neighboring states, how horrible it would be. So I hope everyone is doing very well. And I acknowledge the presence of our special invitees, DTM Stephen Fernando. He may be coming a little late, I think. And DTM Brahmakumar from Singapore and Bharat Nangya from Hong Kong. We thank you very much for your kind response to attend this meeting and make it a grand success. I declare now the 657 meeting in order. Nowadays, every club is contesting for international speech as well as for table topic also. And it never ends in the club, it goes to the area and then to the district and then finally to the international forum. This season is almost all over the globe. The speech contest is going on and it is still continuing. Every Toastmaster wants to deliver a speech that transforms people's lives. Every speaker wants to say about his or her own story. The content of the speech is about their lifetime experience. Sometimes the childhood mess or the adulthood achievements. Most world champions public speaking have certain things in common. They are the message that they have lived, which combines not only the childhood, even the adulthood also. To achieve the best performance, you need to practice continuously and to attend all the meetings in order to educate yourself what a public speech is understood and the evaluation part of it, which is more important, to improve your talent. That is where the Toastmasters International is established worldwide. In the year 1924, the great legend Ralph Smedley has invented this at Santa Ana, California, for public speaking and communication skills. Today, we have 300,000 clubs all over the world, was managed by 6,800, 300,000 members managed by 6,1800 clubs in 149 countries. And one such club is our Speech Weavers Club. Today, we are celebrating. Today, actually, we are not starting our traditional way of public the speech, keynote speech in the beginning, because the keynote speaker requested us that he will come a little late. So we start with our table topic session. Before that, I would like to introduce the time Toastmaster others to explain his role as a time. Over to you, Toastmaster others.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster Joseph. Yes, I think you can actually see the virtual background behind me. So that signifies that it's your time to stop. Regardless, my role as the timer for today will be to help you stay on time. And we have a very interesting session today amidst us. We have a keynote speech, which will last around 30 minutes. And I'll be timing the keynote speech in the following way. Although the keynote speaker isn't here, I'll alert him on that. At the 28th minute, I will display the green card, and when it reaches the 29th minute, I'll display the yellow card, and when it reaches the 30th minute, I will display the red card, just like this. But unlike many sessions out there, our session is going to start with a table topic session. So our table topic session will obviously have table topics that last for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At the first minute, I'll display the green card. At 1 minute and 30, I'll display the yellow card. And when you reach the second minute, I'll display the red card. And table topic contestants or participants, please remember that you'll have a grace period of 30 seconds. I'll keep the red card on regardless. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joseph. Back to you.
Thank you, others, for your detailed explanation on the timings of each of them. The table topic session will be conducted by one of the most person in the Toastmaster journey. He's a global speaker, facilitator, as well as motivator. He completed 5 pathways. He completed 111 of the 365 days public speaking challenge. He has uploaded 170 motivational videos at his YouTube channel called Motivational Thoughts. He has won trophies at area and divisional level contests, visited 40 overseas Toastmaster clubs. He is an area director of U5 in District 80. He is from the Singapore club. Please welcome with one and only DTM Brahma Kumar. Over to you. The stage is yours, Mr. Brahma Kumar.
Good evening to everyone. Welcome and thanks for inviting me to your club. Could I have the co-share, the share option?
DTM Brahma, I made you the co-host.
All right. Now, I was given a very interesting challenge today. Your club president told me, make them laugh. I thought I'd brought the king of laughter from Malaysia, but he said, make your topics so funny. So I thought even I should be funny. So I'm appearing like this. And because I'm traveling across the globe to different clubs, I think this is the best way to travel. Let me share with you quickly about some things about Toastmasters table topic session in case you're not aware. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you are a bumblebee.
No. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay.
No, sir.
You
The
can't.
slide I can't see.
No, we only see your background.
Now you can see it, right?
Yes, now we can see, yeah.
Yes.
Now, before we go into table topics, we need to understand what is fear. Fear is basically false evidence appearing real. Once you know that, the only way to fight fear is with fear, which is called face everything and rise. In table topics, there's no right or wrong answers. Just speak your mind. It's okay to make mistakes because we are here to learn. Some things you can learn about table topics is there are 5 elements. First of all, listen to the topic. Understand the topic. If it's not a contest, you can confirm with the Toastmaster, table topic master on what is the topic about. Next, pause. No need to rush. Give yourself a few seconds to think with the time you want to throw a quotation at the audience or tell a joke. Then tell your story and end it. This is not a soap opera, so there's no continuation, and that's how you go about it. I believe the timer has already given the timing sequence. So if someone is willing to take the plunge, I can give the topic. And if you think it is very difficult, this is what Dalai Lama once said. If you think you're too small, try sleeping next to a mosquito. If you think you're too small, try sleeping next to a mosquito. Yeah, I can see that people here are not so eager. So what I'll do is I'll start calling, and I'll ask Deepa to be the wonderful person to call.
DTM Milind is showing his hand, so maybe we can get him as a first speaker.
DTM Milind, you have a very strange situation. One day your wife goes to the market to buy saris. She buys the same sari for your mother and your mother-in-law. And ladies being ladies, they ask one question. How do I look in this sari? So both your mother and your mother-in-law are asking the same question. How do you handle this? Over to you.
Wow, I can't believe this. It's unimaginable. It is out of my breath. What are you done today? Kudos to my wife, Yamini, my mother-in-law, Madhuri. What a great thing. This is the miracle of this world. Mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law, both identical saris, beyond imagination. It was only during some time earlier, I recall, as twins, we used to have identical things. But now, if mother-in-law and daughter-in-law is also wearing the same identical sari, that's the best thing to happen.
For your correction, it is your mom and your mother-in-law. It's your mom and your mother-in-law who got the same sari.
Wow, well, that is good. So that shows that both of them are the same line, the same wavelength. It will be a beautiful thing for both the families when my wife will talk about my mother-in-law. She will talk all good things. And when my mother-in-law talks about my mother, both will talk all good things. But that will create a problem for me. Because after all in life, you need some action, you need some reaction, you want surprises. But this will become a bit of a boring surprise, and there's nothing to it. So that is something I would tell them. Okay, mom, you had the same sari. Why don't you do some painting over that? Add something unique, because after all, you are unique. So that is something which you can do. Then I'll go to my mother-in-law. I say, you do some this painting over that. So you stand out. After all, everyone has to be a pink umbrella in the crowd. You don't have to be a copycat. You don't have to be a twin. So that is something I'll give this idea to them. And in case, if required, I can even put some tricks, each one of them, to get some action among themselves and get some reaction. So that is something which is required. Sometimes having identical things only, that becomes boring. Do you like to eat pizza every day? No. So that's why one has to have something different. And when something is different, you should not react. You should enjoy. So that is the pleasure or variety of the life. Over to the topic, Master.
Thank you for that very creative way to appease both of them. I need a favor. Can everyone turn on your camera? I seem to be seeing a lot of names, but I don't know who they are. I know there's something in you, and I want to see it today. I see a lot of guests down here. When I was young and it was raining, my grandmother used to say, eat ice cream when it rains. So I see someone here with the name of Gigi. In the Malay language, Gigi stands for truth. Gigi, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Hi.
So your topic is, I hope you can turn on the video.
I look
We
very
should,
ugly though.
I hope you can. So your topic is, we should consume ice cream when it rains. We should consume ice cream when it rains. I've put it in the chat. Over to you.
Sorry, I cannot turn on a video. Sorry, my computer problem.
Okay, carry on.
Just another person, please. Thank you.
No, I said you can still speak.
Okay. Tabletop, right? Yeah. Ice cream. Can you say it again? The topic is.
We should consume ice cream when it rains.
Hey, got timer or not? Timer is right. Sorry. No timer leh? Oh, here. Thank you. I saw you. Okay, I can start. Ladies and gentlemen, rainy days. Everyone have their good days and bad days, correct? Have you ever imagine one time that you have a very bad day, and then not just a bad day, but also raining? Lives always can be very sarcastic to us. When we're having a bad days, normally the weather won't be nice. So my daddy always tell me, when I have a bad day, just don't stay in a bad mood. Do something, Gigi. Do something to light up your mood. You can change your emotion. And he suggests me to eat ice cream or do something fun. My favorite flavor of the ice cream is dark double chocolate. I'm not sure whether you like it or not, but it is my favorite. It always makes me having a whole mouth of black color. That scared my friend and my family. But who cares? I am having a very, very bad day, everyone. I don't care how you see me. I only care whether I'm being happy or not. Sometimes in life, we have good days and we have bad days. And when bad days came, disaster came, we should not complain about it. Instead, we should take our ice cream. You can choose your flavor of your ice cream by deciding what fun activities you want to do to light up your mood. And everyone, remind everyone, if you have a bad day, choose your ice cream, and it is the only thing you can do. Just be positive. Back to you.
Thank you, Gigi. for sharing with us. Now I'm looking for a gentleman. I see a guru down there. Mr. Guru, are you married? Can someone unmute him? Are you married?
Yes.
Okay, so then this question is something that you can answer. The topic for you is men should attend parenting courses before marriage. Men should attend parenting courses before marriage. You can see it in the chat also. Over to you.
Okay. Yeah, men should attend parenting courses before marriage. So it was a wonderful topic for me because this in my life I never thought of doing it before marriage. But considering the situations in real time, a lot of distractions going on, like how Toastmasters is helping to fine tune the communication skill. Similarly, for a person who is going to marry, they must also, take up some course for parenting before marriage. So how it is going to help? So actually, he can think of his childhood days and then how he can, the person is growing, and then how he can be ready for child before it is coming. So in a way, it will uh, culminate, his character so that it will help to listen and then slowly, he is ready for the next phase of life. I know, yeah, it is. If I'm just thinking, I'm still not married, but since I'm married now, so I can know I no need to attend the parenting course. It's real life. So I can experience really what is happening, how I can help my child based on my own experience. So now I'm literally seeing myself in my son when I grow. So it is like a friend growing along with him, doing exercise along with him, going along with him for for dropping him to school. So it is the journey which I am experiencing as I was growing as a child. So the parenting course, yes, it is not actually only before marriage. It's a never-ending journey till end. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guest Guru. I think as a married man, you're the right person to share with us on such things. Now, you see, if you talk about men, then you must have a topic for women. And there's one very eager Toastmaster who messaged me, Toastmaster Meghna.
I saw. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah. Your topic is something that every housewife would want to have. And the topic is housewives should be paid a salary. Housewives should be paid a salary. Over to you, Toastmaster Meghna.
Life is just like two faces of the coin, heads and tails. Similarly, are women and men in the society, the two pillars of the society that create and build the society. When men are being paid the respect that they deserve and they think they deserve, I should correct myself here, they think they deserve, then females should also be paid salaries. Because relentlessly, just imagine your mother brought you up, carrying you in her womb for 9 months, suffering and undergoing all the struggles all by herself. Was there anyone, sharing the burden of that pain with her in that particular moment when she suffered those incidences or circumstances? After that, she ensured that she sent you to the school, she packed your lunchbox, she ensured to get done your homework, she ensured that your father's lunchbox, shoes, watch, belt, purse, everything is given to him at his hand. Don't you think in return what men are doing? Wishing women on Happy Women's Day, mother on Happy Mother's Day, bringing them a present, a gift in the form of dress, watches, jewelry. All they really want is not even salary, my friends, is love in return for the kindest of gesture they show towards you. Mother, woman, or any female on the earth today, what really expects from a man or people whom she loves is love in return. Because you cannot measure it, you cannot earn it. All you can really do is ensure that you give back the amount of love you receive in due manner of obeying her, respecting her, loving her, taking her out. And if you can bring the smile, one smile on her face will ensure that the entire house is happy and hailing, right, with happiness. And this solely is possible when you give back that amount of salary in the form of love to your loved ones. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Now we finally have a foreigner here, DTM Sephora. I think she's from the Caribbean.
Yes, I'm from Haiti.
She's from Haiti. So it would be nice for us to listen to her. And her topic is, you got to listen very carefully. We know that an apple dropped on Isaac Newton's head and he discovered gravity. Now we Indians had a strange question. And our question was, what if a coconut had dropped on Isaac Newton's head? What if a coconut had dropped on Isaac Newton's head? What would he have discovered?
Mr. Little Topic Masters, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good morning from where I am. What would have happened if a coconut had dropped on Isaac Newton's head? What a question, what creativity, what an imagination. Let me try to guess. It's not often to walk in the wilderness and find that a coconut come from nowhere, from a tree, and just drop on somebody's head. However, I do believe if Isaac Newton would look at the glass half full, he will laugh at it. He will take it positively. And he will take this coconut. He will open it and drink the water from the coconut. And then make sure he got everything inside and eat it. And make sure he cut the seeds and plant it and use these coconut seeds to create another coconut trees that will benefit so many other people from its water. And if Isaac Newton decided at that day, he will look at the glass half empty instead, he will probably be mad at the coconut and pissed off and complain about his head being hurting. What will be the best way to be? I choose to see Isaac Newton see the glass half full. And this is what I'm inviting you to do, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Whatever happened in your life, positive or negative, try to take the best out of it. Try to see always the best part of it. Try to always look at the glass half full instead of half empty. Mr. Little to Big Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster DTM Sephora. I always thought that if a coconut had fallen on his head, he would have discovered Panadol, but you had shown otherwise. Now we shall hand over you back to the Toastmaster of the day. You are muted.
So the screen is far from me. It was indeed the best topic that you have chosen and very funny also. But I did not find anybody clapping or laughing. I don't know why. But for me, if I say the coconut falls on Newton's head, the next thing is call for an ambulance. That is what it is. Apple is different from coconut. Anyway, everything is very funny. Thank you so much, Brahma Kumar. And I think you finished earlier than the time given to you. I have no idea. Let us give a great applause to the table topic master and the people who spoke on the subject. The next session is the keynote speech. You know, this session was planned 3 weeks before with the keynote speaker, and we arranged it in such a way that it should not fail, but it's definitely going to be held today. The person, 5 times district humorous champion, 2 times district international champion, also district evaluation and table topic champion, comedian and professional MC and motivational humorist. Please join hands in welcoming the one and only DTM, Stephen Fernando. Over to you, sir, Stephen Fernando.
Thank you. Oh, can you all see the slides? No, sir. Can you all see the slides?
So it's not visible. I've made you the co-host. You can go ahead and share your screen if it is.
It's visible on this side. Have you got something there?
Can you try sharing again?
Okay, now, can you all see me?
Yes.
You can see me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
With my hairstyle?
Very handsome.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
So now I'm going to try this screen, yeah? Please bear with me. Okay, here we have it. Hold on, yeah? Because there's a heavy thunderstorm and rain over here. Wait. Please. Right. Are we okay now?
No, it's not visible, but I can share it on behalf of you. I have the slide.
No, can you see the slides?
We cannot.
No, we cannot share.
No, sir.
Stephen.
Oh my, what happened?
Just the master share it. Since he has it. And Mr. Sivan, you can just say next when you want the next slide to move on.
No, I've got the slides here. Are you okay with this?
But we cannot see the slide.
Okay with the slides.
Wait, yeah. One more try. Because I've got my slide share all done up. You can see the slides, no?
No.
No, sir. Not.
Wow, that's part of the humor. Okay, can somebody move your slides on that side? Wait, right. Can somebody move in slides on that side?
I think, Bidu, you can try giving it a shot.
Right, never mind. How many minutes have I got, please?
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay, slides are okay now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
So now,
Kindly make it in presentation mode. It will be larger. Yeah.
Okay. So now we are okay?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So can I have the next slide? I think you have to help me. Okay. Right. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How many minutes have I got?
30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah? Right. Now, my name is Fernando. I'm in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I just tell you something about myself. My parents came from Kerala in Trivandrum in the year 1900 by the Rajula ship. And they worked in the rubber plantations in Malaysia. And I was born and brought up in Malaysia. So, but I've heard so much about Bangalore and what a wonderful city it is. I really look forward to visiting it one year. In fact, in 2018, I was supposed to go there, invited by some Toastmasters there, but they postponed it to 2020, and then unfortunately, it didn't take place. For those of you, I think some of you have visited Kuala Lumpur, you'll find that there are a lot of Toastmaster clubs here in English, in Tamil, and in various languages. And if you arrive at Kuala Lumpur, 3 things will attract you. Number 1, you'll find there are a lot of Indian restaurants and shops and little India cities. Number 2, there are a lot of Toastmaster clubs. And number 3, you'll find that if you're a Toastmaster and you contact one of the clubs, they will be most happy to welcome you. So now, today I'd like to talk, I've been asked to talk to you a bit about humor. Ladies and gentlemen, humor is not difficult. Just like everything else, it has to be started on a small scale. So here, what is the difference between a joke and humor? A joke brings smile to your face, while humor brings smile to your mind. That's what popular humorist Ellen DeNon says. But basically, a joke is just a miniature speech, maybe 1 or 2 lines. Someone once said that just as a speech has got an opening, a body, and a close, a joke has got an anticipation, expectation, and a punchline. For example, husband and wife are fighting, you know, jokes about marriage are very popular. Husband and wife are quarreling. And the husband says, you speak like an idiot. That's anticipation. Then the wife says, yeah, so that you can understand me. That's the expectation and the punchline together. But once we understand that, then we can gradually develop to tell jokes. But we in Toastmasters are very fortunate because we have this short session at every meeting called humor session. I would encourage all of you, if you are interested in telling jokes, whenever you have the opportunity, share some humor. Short humor, 2-liners. 2-liners. This young boy goes and works in Kentucky Fried Chicken. And his job every day is to ask ordinary or spicy, ordinary or spicy. One day he's going home, the robber comes and says, give me all your money. He says, ordinary or spicy. So what are the benefits of using jokes in conversations and presentation? Ladies and gentlemen, we start off by using jokes in conversations among your friends. And then from there, we expand into presentations. So why we should use it? When you are able to share humor in conversation and presentation, the listeners or the audience are very relaxed. Very relaxed. They are put at ease. And then it creates a connection, communication connection between you, the speaker, and the audience. And also, according to research from Judith Williams, who is a jokes writer in Melbourne, she said, jokes leave a lasting impression with the audience. So we should develop the jokes. Now, when you're speaking to people, always take the opportunity to share a short joke you have read or seen somewhere. And one of the best ways to develop yourself in humor, from my experience, and I share with you, is to take on a role as MC, Master of Ceremonies. So if there's a wedding near your place, or there is a small dinner, or a memorial function, or a wedding anniversary, volunteer to be MC. Number one, you get good speaking experience, overcome your fear of crowds. Number two, you can try out your jokes. So it will give you a ready-made audience, and then slowly you can improve. And in Toastmasters, I'm sure even in Bangalore, just like in Malaysia, we have got what we call the humor contest every year. And it goes right up to district level. So like this year, the district contest for humor in Malaysia, in my district, which is 102, is in May. So we have a club contest, area contest, division contest, district contest. Why is it important? Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you can develop humor, you can also develop and use it as part of your international speech. If you watch international speeches on YouTube or the past world champions, you find that they had humor incorporated in their winning speeches. Could I have the next slide, please? So there are 3 steps, very fast. How do you develop humor? Number one, we source out humor. How do we source out humor? You can get it from the internet, you can get it from magazines, and then we pick up suitable jokes. Now in Toastmasters, we have a wonderful guideline. We avoid sex, politics, and religion. So the jokes we use can be presented to any audience. We don't have to worry whether some people will like or not. Especially nowadays, we got to avoid sex and politics. In Malaysia now, there's a tendency to pick on politicians, not good. And also some people, they make vulgar jokes, not good. All the jokes we must be acceptable to people. Try out these jokes for response. Now, what we can do is, we source out humor and then we put it in different categories. For example, we can have jokes on medical doctors. This elderly man goes to a young doctor, and the young doctor tells the elderly man, "Uncle, you must have an operation." And the elderly man says, "I've never been operated before." And the young doctor says, "I've never done operation before. So you are first time, I'm first time, no problem." Or you can talk about lawyers. This young lawyer goes before the judge and he says, "Your Honor, can I have a postponement because I'm constipated?" The judge looks at him and says, "Motion denied." Right? So we go on next one. So try this out. A tip when you're telling jokes, very important. Preparation, preparation, preparation. Actually, it's also with your speeches. The presentation is the last part. We got to prepare, prepare, prepare. What I would suggest for those of you, because you are here tonight, just collect 5 jokes. 5 only, 5. No need to collect much. 5 jokes. 1 on doctors, 1 on lawyers, 1 on marriage, 1 on housewife, 1 on students, youngsters. This boy goes home and tells his mother, "My teacher beat me in school today. She came for something I did not do." The mother said, "How can you be?" So next day she went and complained to the headmistress. "My son was caned for something he did not do." So they went and saw the teacher, and they asked the teacher, "Why did you cane my son for something he did not do?" And the teacher said he did not do his homework. So you have over students, right? Now, next slide, please. So your sources of humor can be, the best source could be your own experience. In your life, you would have had many funny experiences. You record it, and if you want to do a humorous speech, put it in the speech as part of your main material. Now, always remember, the best humor we can have is from our own humorous experience, because it's ours, very unique. People will like us. Then you can get from the joke books and the internet. And of course, a very good source of humor is by listening to others. If you're really interested, you go on to YouTube. I always watch YouTube TED Talks. You know TED Talks, TED Talks. I've listened to speakers from Bangalore, Mumbai on TED Talks. So you have a management, humor, and also how to do presentations. And from these people, we can gather the humor, see how they use it, and use it on our own. Next, please. Wow, we are on the road. So guide to conversational humor. When we're having a conversation, what is the guide? When we're talking to people, we try to look for opportunities to put in a joke. Now, let me share with you something. Very often people come up to me and say, well, if I tell a joke and people don't laugh, what happens? Very simple. If you tell a joke, people don't laugh, pretend it was not a joke and then continue. Very simple. Don't get delayed. Because all of us have the experience, no matter how good you are. You might share some humor, some people do not get it. And it's maybe not our fault. They were so involved with their handphone, mobile phone, podcast, iPad, laptop, so they didn't get the punchline. So never mind. Just continue. It is very normal. Don't let that hold you back. And then every day, learn one or two jokes. One joke a day. From somewhere you get in the internet or one of your management magazines, write it down. I have a simple phone here, which costs about 50 ringgit American. Very cheap phone. Oppo. I think you have it in India. OPPO. But it has a few pages. I've done a few pages on jokes. So I got about 89 jokes on one page and 72 jokes on another page. So every time I go for a meeting or I'm going to do some stand-up comedian, I'm often telling jokes at Rotary Club dinners. Before the dinner, I will just, while waiting, I run through this phone. I get a few jokes. So ladies and gentlemen, you learn the jokes properly. So you get started. Right, next one, please. Next slide, please. Right, develop the confidence to face audience. How to develop the confidence to face audience? We start by improving on conversation. So before we can go on to doing humor in speeches in public, we do conversational. And a very good forum to start your humor is, of course, Toastmaster meetings, because everyone is willing to help. Whatever role you're playing in Toastmasters, share a few jokes. At the end of the meeting, ask for some feedback and listen with a proper, positive mind. Keep a directory of jokes. Yes, keep a directory of jokes under various categories. List them down. List them down so that it could be on a small book, iPad, or your phone. List under different categories and update the list every day. You just need a few minutes. You're driving, maybe you hear a joke on the road or on the radio, you take it down. You go for a function, hear a joke, take it. It's a question of awareness. If we are interested in humor, we will definitely be able to anticipate, expect, and get more humor. Next, please. Right, for humorous presentation, always ask, what is the objective? Now, if you're told to do a presentation with humor, find out what is the objective. It's going to be a briefing, then the jokes would be very simple. It's going to be a motivational talk, then the jokes have to be related to motivation. Or is it going to be a training session? A training session requires a lot of humor because very often when you're doing a training, some of you might be doing training or doing presentations for a long period, 1 or 2 hours. You must have humor to retain the attention of the audience. Once you have a speaker who is a humorist, they say, this guy is good. I would like to listen to him. Next, please. So humor is very important. So the humorous presentation, start with a joke or one-liner, something that people will want to listen. For example, beauty is in the eyes of the person behind the eyes. Wow, they say, what does it mean? And then it's also humorous, you know? And then you portray enthusiasm. For humor, we have to be enthusiastic. And when we're enthusiastic, enthusiasm spreads. It's contagious. So that people, even if they do not get the joke, they say, there must be something funny, they will laugh. And give life to your humorous jokes or your humorous presentation. Next, please. Be audience friendly. Now, if you're going to give a humorous presentation or even a speech, it's always, as you know, good to identify your audience, whether they are university students or college students or working people, executives or banking staff or insurance staff, so that you can relate your humor to the audience. And they will be so happy because they can relate to the humor and also they can understand the jokes better. And then see their level of understanding. Are they highly educated or not so highly educated? So your humor can be there. And then find out what they are doing. Anything else? Any more slides? Body language, of course, in humor, body language is very important, yeah? The hands, the eyes, flexibility, these depict a sign of confidence, retains the attention. Always have body language. In humor, if you were to see humorous people on television, comedians performing, body language is about 50%, presentation 50%. When people see the movements, they are encouraged to laugh. Now here, let me stop and tell you a joke. There was this young boy who asked his mother, "Mom, what's the difference between horrible and terrible?" The mother said, "You know, we were at the beach some time ago, and then the waves took your dad out to the sea. That was terrible." So the boy said, "Mom, then what was horrible?" The mother said, "When the waves brought your dad back, that was horrible." Right, next slide, please. So be naturally funny. Work on human relations, because humor is dealing with people. Be comfortable amongst people. Give compliments easily. Always develop the habit to give compliments. It goes together with humor, because if you are part of you to give compliments, then humor comes naturally. People can see you as a person-friendly people, as a people-friendly person. Be a good listener so that your jokes, you can get feedback, and they're all relevant to the conversation that is being carried on. Next, please. Anything? Human relations. Wow, audiences are made up of people. When relations are established, the minds are open. Always start your presentation with some humor. Let me give you an example. I was once asked to talk about foreigners in Malaysia. So there was this true story of this young man from Bangladesh who came to Malaysia. He came to Malaysia, he went for an interview. And the interviewer said, "You are from Bangladesh?" He said, "Oh, yes, I am." "Which part?" He said, "All the parts." So when there is less tension, better response from people. Next one, please. So you work with the voice. For humor, we must have a loud voice. Loud. How do you develop your voice? By reading, by singing simple songs for vocal variety, and opening the mouth when speaking. This is also for speeches and humor. Why? So that when we open the mouth, people can understand. For vocal variety, please go to vocal variety. Vocal variety is not a monotone, so it controls the audience, so that people will be so taken up like singing that it's not monologue. Sometimes you get a person who's a monologue. You ask him, "How are you doing?" and he goes into a mo. No. We want dynamism, enthusiasm. Yes, next slide, please. Yeah, we have done this. Next slide, please. I'm fighting for time. What is your takeaway? When you want to tell a joke or a speech, everything, remember, what is that people can go? Number one, we got to understand, humor can be for everybody, by everybody. Anyone can do humor. There's no restriction. Short jokes are among the most popular. Short jokes. Make it short jokes. Husband and wife go for a buffet. The wife goes and takes the food many times, goes up and down, takes the food, goes up and down, takes the food. Husband says, "It's so shy, you're going so many times and taking the food." The wife says, "Yeah, I tell people it's for you." So you progress from telling jokes in conversation, and then you go on to humor in presentation. You start with conversation and then to presentation. Okay? Right. So this is the last slide. So give yourself time. Like everything else, this is a lifelong project. Enjoy, have fun, one bite at a time. So ladies and gentlemen, let me end by telling you a story. These young boys were once watching a movie, and in the movie, there's a scene where the actors would unblouse her dress, one button, two buttons, then a train will pass by. Every day, these two boys would go and watch the movie. That's the scene. The actors unbutton her blouse. 1 button, 2 button, train passed by. So one day the theater manager said, why do you see this train why do you see this picture so many times? The boy said, sir, in the movie there's a scene where the lady unbuttons her dress, 1 button, 2 button, and the train passes by. So the theater manager asked, so what? He said, sir, we are hoping one day the train will be late. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
So it's an amazing research on jokes and humor. That was very well spoken. Give a great applause to our Professor Stephen DTM Fernando.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We now have question and answer session. And I would like to introduce also a humorous person as a moderator. He's a qualified lawyer and retired corporate company secretary. He's an active member of the Institute of Commerce Bangalore chapter. He's a yoga practitioner and marathon runner. He's a senior most member of our club and past president of this club in 2019. Please join me in welcoming the one and only DTM Milanji. Over to you, DTM Milanji, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President, Toastmaster Joseph Benedict, and my keynote speaker, distinguished Toastmaster and a Professor Stephen Fernando. I heard you're a professor. Do you take humor as one of your subjects in your teaching classes? That's my first question to you, sir.
Oh, you got a question for me?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
I heard that you are, in your introduction, I heard that you are a professor. So
no, not a professor. No, I'm not a professor.
Oh, you're not a professor. Oh, okay, then. Now this is a challenge.
I'm an ordinary.
Oh, okay.
I'm an ordinary person, but who has been able to do well in humor.
Now, this is something one plans for a joke. Like this time I planned very technically correctly, and then it misfires. When you say deny totally, I'm not a professor. Then in such cases, what do? I fall flat on my face.
Well, then you just have to tell a small joke and then we'll cover it up.
Wow, that's great. Now, quite often, luckily in our club, we have started a session from last year that we have a joke master every time. So,
I see.
And then if we give them 3 to 5 minutes maximum. Now, can you suggest, so if tomorrow I say, okay, Milind is going to give a joke. So when I come on the stage, should I say, okay, I'm going to start with joke number 1. And now this is the second is the best joke. And then it doesn't work out. So is that a best way? Or you suggest I just go ahead and start the joke without telling?
Go ahead, Indra. Go ahead. Don't say I'm going to tell a joke.
Okay.
Because when we say I'm going to tell a joke, then the expectations will be very high. So after the salutation, you just tell a joke.
Thank you, sir.
But I can see that I can study from your face that you are a natural joker.
Oh, thank you. I have no other option. You see, I'm married for 21 years.
Yes,
Do I have an option?
Yes.
And that too, I'm staying at my in-laws' house. Do I have an option?
Oh, that's a funny situation.
Yeah. I have a mother-in-law, father-in-law, and a daughter too. So I'm the only person over here.
Yes.
And now, I enjoy one joke. Moment I think of the joke, I feel like laughing. So when I'm giving that joke, should I start with, I'm going to tell you a joke. This happened. Is that the way I should do? Or I should be stiff upper lip?
The person telling the joke must not laugh.
Okay. Correct.
Because if you start laughing, people start laughing, then they don't get the joke.
So now let me go to our audience. They have a lot of questions to me. There's a question that, okay, let me start.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah. How do one question is from, okay. Okay.
My question, can I
go
go?
ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I'm from Haiti and I'm going to represent Haiti at the district level in May for humorist speech contest. Although I won the contest in my club, in my area, and in my division, but at the district level, it's going to be outside of my country and it's going to be a different cultures. So how I can address a joke to a multicultural audience? Because what make my people laugh might not make other people from other culture might not be humoristic for other culture. We are in March right now and contest is in May. So I feel I'm not really ready to face a multicultural audience. What will be your advice to me to get ready for this humorist speech contest at the district level?
What is your speech about?
My speech was about, at the club level, I spoke about my children when they are kids, all the silly things that they were doing. At the area level, my speech was about myself when I was a kid, how I was being like, making a lot of things that make people laugh. And at the division level, I also spoke about my kids again.
Why do you keep changing your speech? You see, we have a very eminent Toastmaster in the audience, Mr. Distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar of Singapore. Singapore produces the world champions, 2 of them. And Mr. Brahma Kumar is one of the mentors of many clubs. He will tell you that you just stay with the speech from the club, area, division, district, so that at each level you improve. But if at each level you make a new speech, then you're all tensed up. I don't know.
Haiti is French and Creole, and the district is English. So I had one of my speech was in French and the other one was in English. So when I translate the French to the English, the expression, I could not find the right expression that are the same because it was different language. So do you advise that I use my English speech from, I thought it was from the area level, which was in English, to the district, because the division was what it was in French?
Based on your experience, which language gets you more laughter, English or French?
Creole, my mother tongue.
No, I really think you should stick to the same speech. Can I bring in Distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar for your ideas, sir? Don't you think so?
I need help, Brahma Kumar. I need mentorship.
This is like a table topic. What I would suggest is that since you're going to speak to international audience, go to other countries apart from India, Singapore, Malaysia, and try out the same joke. The same speech, and ask feedback from the audience.
Yeah.
We have Bharat here from Hong Kong. That is also a nice place to go because we have Chinese, Indians, and other race. So when you speak in front of an international audience, you test out your jokes, then you will shine. But I think from what you say, perhaps in Creole you were able to do more body language, because I could see you bubbling and jumping around when you said it Creole. So perhaps that is something that you can incorporate into your speech also, because if you're different, you're already there. Those who say the same thing will not be there, but those who say something different, they will stand out from the crowd.
I agree. Body language. You know, in Malaysia, every year, the champion for humor speech are Indians. Although the Indian is a small population, because we are naturally very aggressive, mobile, we move the hand, legs, and this, and people like it. Especially for humor. All right.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Stephen, for sharing your concern, and thanks to Toastmaster Kumar as well as Stephen. Now, I have a question from our chat moderator, because in case I don't answer his question or don't ask you the question, he will get curious. So his question is, chat master is Adarsh. How do I achieve the vocal variety needed to make a joke really funny?
Vocal variety you achieve by singing and reading loudly. Singing is the best way, either a Tamil song or a Hindi song. In Malaysia, we have got Indian English song, because singing is always vocal variety. So if we feel we don't have vocal variety, I teach people on public speaking, and for vocal variety, I use songs, singing. I tell them to sing, because nowadays people are so addicted to the mobile phone that they lack vocal variety. You know, they just mumble, mumble, mumble. So singing helps a lot. Although people might laugh at the idea, I benefited, and I tell those who listen to me, take up singing. The old songs, older songs, not the present songs, you know, no, the old songs like Elvis Presley, or in India would be like Sivaji Ganesan, Emma Radha, all these people, you know, all the old movies, because they had beautiful pronunciation and vocal variety. So I can see our chat moderator looks like a signal, so she'll be very good. What's your name, girl? Deepa. Deepa will next time sing for us.
Yeah, she has a hello on her face, so she has something in her mind going on. Yeah.
Singing.
Okay, there's one question from our guest, Ravi Shankar. Humor is all about timing. Any tips on how to get the timing right?
Timing is, you should have, that's why you must accumulate some humor, so that when there's an opportunity, you can quickly put in the humor. We must have what we call a vocabulary of jokes. A vocabulary of jokes under different titles. So, like I have quite a few jokes. So if I'm in a conversation and something comes up and there's a lull or a pause, quickly I can put in a joke. And everyone laughs, and then we continue. So first we got to develop one by one. We develop a few jokes, then we develop a vocabulary of jokes under different titles, and then we try it out, maybe at a club meeting. Give ourselves time. Over a period of time, definitely we'll be well versed. And take part in the humor contest if you have a humor contest. Don't worry, go in with the intention not to win, but to try out your humor.
Thank you, sir.
Apologies for interrupting, sir. We only have time for one more question.
Okay, so I'm going to have a question from distinguished Toastmaster Brahma. He has a question. How many jokes should you add in any speech?
If it's a 7-minute speech, you should have about 4 jokes, 4 to 5. We call it slices of humor, not too many. Even if it's a humorous speech, 5, and then maybe 1 humor line, because we must not forget that even in a humorous speech, content is very important. Message is very important. A humorous speech is not just a series of jokes or funny incidences. There must be a strong message. So my normal practice over the last 20 years, and even this year also, I'm competing in the district humor contest. It will be in May. I have got 5 jokes.
Great. And the second part to the same question, how to increase the humor quotient?
Oh, no. The humor is part of the speech. Humor is part of the speech. You know, we don't separate it. Then people will be able to find out, and they say, this is the humorous part. It's no. It comes naturally. We're giving a speech, and then we bring in the humor. So for example, this year I'm doing a humorous speech. It's called How to Tell a Joke. And then I start off by telling jokes, and then I give them a bit of humor, and I give them a guideline, and then I give a bit of humor. So it's actually all packaged into the speech. The humor is not segregated or separated from the speech. It's part of the content material. Then it looks like normal, natural.
Thank you, Stephen Fernando, for giving us a master class on humor. Like way to identify between joke and a humor, that is also very important.
Next year, distinguished Brahma Kumar has promised to sponsor me a trip to Bangalore. So I'll see you all in Bangalore.
Wow. And then we'll have a live session over there. That's great. We could have gone on and on, but unfortunately, because of time constraint, we have to cut short it. And now I'm handing it back to the event chair of President Toastmaster Joseph Benedict. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Milanji, for that wonderful question and answer session. And we learned a lot of things from the master, from the Malaysia. Today we purposely did not put a joke master because the very master is coming over here. We thought it is not appropriate to put a small joke. However, we learned a lot, and let us give a big applause for Milanji for conducting this question and answer session. Now the third session of the day is the table topic evaluation. As an evaluator, we have in our midst all the way from Hong Kong. He's a dual member of club, that is Founders Toastmaster Club, which is his parent club, and Tung Chung Toastmasters, the Founder Toastmasters sponsored club. He's a passionate Toastmaster who is wearing multiple hats. In 2021, served as an area director, President Tung Chung TM Club, coach, Shaw College and club sponsor, and charter member, Founder Toastmasters. As a leader, motivated all the clubs he served to reach the distinguished club status and the area K1 as residence distinguished area club. Current winner of club contest for table topic and area contest for 2022. Winner of evaluation and international speech contest. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Bharat Nangia. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. So, Master, can you help me bring my fellow table topic speakers and the table topic master spotlight together? And I would request all of my friends I am evaluating today to open their mics and let us have a chit chat. It would be a different type of table topic evaluation where I would like to have some interaction with you. So, Master, are you able to do that? And let me know how much time I have for this session.
I request that everyone to turn on the videos, else I cannot spotlight you.
Pardon, how much time do I have?
So you have 8 to 10 minutes. I'll be flashing the green card at the 8th minute. I'll flash the yellow card at the 9th minute. And
so you have already started the time?
Yes, I've already started.
Okay, so fair enough. Of course, my table topic speakers, as the Zoom master requested, please open your videos so you can be spotlighted, and do spotlight Toastmaster Brahma Kumar also.
Yes, Guru and Sephora, you can turn on your videos, I can spotlight you.
Okay, anyway, by the time our Zoom master figures out how he can spotlight all of us together, let us raise our hands, get up, and bring some energy to applaud what a wonderful effort by DTM, 3 times DTM, Brahm Kumar. He brings his experience from Singapore to India to showcase such a lovely table topic session. We all learn from him. You see, the start he has shown us. Brahm Kumar, one more time, please. I want to see your avatar which you did for the table topics. Yes, yes, yes. And your hat and cap, please. Wonderful, wonderful. So on a humorous day, he has brought up this wonderful cap with him and be the joker tonight in this humorous meeting of ours, where we have a workshop and he wants us to, can you speak out? What is his first message? My table topic speakers, please open your.
Speak out.
Yes, what was his first message? Does anyone remember that? Sephora, please open your mic.
Yes.
What was his first message?
Speak out. Speak out.
No, he said, learn to laugh.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let us try to show how we cannot forget this again. Are you guys in a comfortable position?
Yes.
Okay, breathe. Breathe slowly and laugh with me. Yes. Bring some energy to the room. The energy we saw Brahm Kumar bring by waving his wings and putting this face for us today. Thank you, Brahm Kumar. We are deeply impressed by the topics you have brought to the table, and all had some scope to give some punchlines, some jokes, and make everyone laugh. I really appreciate how we can bring a completely different outlook to a meeting by using these small tricks, by how he has used this background and how he has used the PowerPoint, not only to make us learn to laugh, but understand what are the contents and how we can nail a table topics. The slides he showed, fear, and then how we get out of that fear. I was trying to make a slide for you together for all four, but the time was not enough. But then again, I believe Brahm Kumar had prepared a lot before coming into the meeting, and we must learn from him. Before going into any meeting, we must prepare ourselves according to the meeting theme, according to the word of the day, and the mindset of our audience. Here, I would like to challenge Brahm Kumarji. He is my senior, and I will challenge him for 3 or 4 things, and I would love to see them repeat them in the next session of table topics he hosts, where I would like to be there. Number 1, in his slide, he told us pause. Well, definitely he can pause himself when he shows those slides, because they ran too fast for me and I could not stick with, and I had to ask him, please give me the slides again. The fear, the 2 times the slides for fear, which said false evidence approaching real, and finally, how to get out of it, face everything and rise. So here I am facing everything and rising with you all. So now, coming to my table topic speakers, we must take another lesson from Toastmaster Milind how he is standing, and a clear background so that we can focus on it. Standing like I am doing right now, even Mr. Brad Kumar, although I'm not sure he's sitting or standing, but he looks as he is very engaged. So once we are, like Sephora is also very near to the camera, very engaged. So your delivery becomes more powerful when you have enough stage for you. This is lesson for all our Toastmasters to learn today. I will not be commenting on each one of the table topic speakers. You've all done good in your own way. Of course, every story is different and everyone has a different take on it. If I were among one of you as the table topic speaker today, I would have loved to nail all this with some personal story and some personal joke to go with it, to relax the atmosphere. We had lovely topics. I felt somewhere the speakers, our friends here, were a little too serious and should relate to the meeting themes. Like already the Toastmaster of the day and the chair today said, bring an ambulance when the coconut falls. So such like things are very important to connect this speech with the meeting theme today. Let me read more. Okay. I've written them all over the place because too much was happening there. Another challenge for our timer and on the table topic master. You have already briefed everyone what table topics is and the time is. When you start, put that again on the chat. If you have limited time to repeat that, put it on chat so that at least the new guest can confirm that what is the time and where they have to stop. So that is another suggestion I have. And believe me, I would love to have ice cream when it rains. Parenting. I remember there is a book. In fact, some of us in Singapore or Philippines, they know that some religions, they have coaching before you get married to even see your threads or do household chores, even for men. That could be a very good humorous angle when you are speaking stories about parenting while getting married. Of course, all of you had a message to it, this is a wonderful approach for the structure. Most of you followed the good opening, the content and the message. Each of you speakers had a good message to end with it all. So with this, I think my time is almost up. Summarizing it, lovely session. And I am rocking. So before I end this, everyone open the mic and laugh with me. Learn to laugh. Yes, that is a good one. Yes. Thank you, my friends, for bringing this energy to. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was very great, Bharat Nangya. You made everyone really laugh. Very good. Today is the day of laughter as well as humor. Now it is time. I will call the Toastmaster to give you a vote of thanks. He is a special digital strategist, ICF career coach. He has around 2 decades of corporate IT experience in digital transformations. He is also a chief coach for personal growth startup, United Potential Insight. Please welcome Toastmaster Vinit Kumar Singh to give vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, President Joseph. Sir, my dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guest, it gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event since we have all global Toastmasters dignitaries assembled across from world connecting virtually. I would like to thank first our keynote speaker, DTM Stephen Fernando, who honored this function with his humorous thoughts not only for our Toastmaster speeches but also for daily usage. The start was so powerful. What is the difference between joke and humor? And I think he was a testimony of that. That he brought humor in our mind, not only on our face. Isn't it, Toastmasters? And some amazing couple of things, if I remember, don't set the expectations by saying you're going to crack a joke. That was an amazing tip. Don't have more than 4 to 5 jokes if it's a humorous speech. Thank you so much, DTM Stephen Fernando, for all your insights today. Special thanks to DTM Brahma as well for moderating table topics so beautifully and very humorous topics when should attend parenting course, mom and mother in law having same wearing same sari, what you will say and all that. And of course his bumblebee avatar was really amazing. He inspired me to have this mustache as well. And thank you all the speakers for participating: DTM Bilin, Gigi, Guru, Toastmaster Meghna, DTM Sephora, and very humorous speeches. Men should attend. Yeah, I think I talked about that. And I would also like to thank all the role takers: Zoom Master, Toastmaster Vidhu, SA, Toastmaster Sai Shri, Event Chair and Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Joseph, Timer, Toastmaster Others, Question and Answer Moderator, DTM Milind, Table Tap Topic Evaluator, Bharat Nangan, Toastmaster Bharat. It was an amazing way to evaluate. You had so many things to add from a humorous perspective even before you started uh, giving your evaluation. And yes, special thanks to all the fellow Toastmasters and guests who are in the audience. That is what makes the session so successful. And once again, I thank you, all of you. My time is up, so thank you, and back to you, President Joseph.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinit Kumar. That's a wonderful vote of thanks for everyone. And it's appealing. Now I would like to have the opinion of the guests today. The guests have been attending this today. I would like to have their opinion. How do you feel? Anyone from the audience or the Toastmasters? Yes.
Apologies for interrupting, Mr. President. The voting link to vote for your favorite role takers and table topic speakers are displayed in the chat box. Please feel free to let us know who your favorite role takers and speakers are.
I would like to make a few announcements today. Kindly renew your membership. It's not yet done. A platform for harvesting more than gold, which is knowledge. You have to invest in the platform to gain your knowledge. The coming week will be another spring festival called Ugadi. In the month of April, and our meeting is on the 1st of April, and the Ugadi is on the 2nd of April. We also have enjoying our Ugadi festival on the meeting day itself. But celebrated Andhra and Karnataka and part of Tamil Nadu. So, ready others?
We have 6 responses so far. I think there are 13 of you in the room, so please go ahead and let yourself know in the voting form.
Joseph, in the meantime, can you take a photograph of everyone?
Joseph sir, Bidu has requested if we can take a photograph of everyone.
Open your videos for the photographic session.
Stella, Deepa, Joseph, everyone, feel free to let yourself know.
Yeah, it's done. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's done. Thank you.
Can you announce the winners, please?
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and announce the winners one by one. So feel free to sit tight. Our best role taker for today was the Table Topics Master, DTM Brahmakumar. Thank you very much for being here at Speechweavers. And here comes the most interesting part. We only have 2 awards today. And the second one goes to the best table topic speaker. The best table topic speaker is DTM Sephora. DTM Sephora was the best table topic speaker today. Thank you very much for joining us all the way from Africa. So we can't wait to see you back once again. I have nothing else to tell. Back to you, President.
Thanks, others. And thanks for all the winners who have really put up with their best performance on this subject. Thank you everyone and all for attending this session and making it a more successful one. To remember that our participants from far off land have really brought us back to the next level by joining in our club and participating and giving us a lot of takeaway. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening. The meeting number 657 is adjourned.